Episode 7 of The Wheel of Time Season 3 unfolds entirely in the heart of Two Rivers, serving as a powerful homage to Perrin's origins and a gripping reminder that even the quietest corners of the world can become battlegrounds in a war as vast as this one. From the very beginning, it's clear that this episode is building toward something monumental, a long-awaited battle that not only defines Perrin's leadership but also reveals how far he's come from being just a blacksmith haunted by past trauma. As the episode begins, the villagers of Two Rivers prepare themselves for war under Perrin's command, and while their nerves are high, hope isn't lost. Unexpectedly, the Tuatharan arrive instead of the anticipated Tralarks, bringing a mix of warmth and sorrow, especially for Perrin, who's thrilled to see familiar faces but disheartened by the loss of one of their own. The reunion between Perrin and Aram is sweet yet shadowed by Aram's conflicted feelings, especially about his grandfather and his inner struggle with violence, which seems to contradict his people's way of the leaf. Loyal, ever the wise and gentle Ogier, observes two ale women who humorously react to Aram's presence with suggestive gestures, though it's quickly made clear that the ale wouldn't lower themselves to intimacy with the Tuatharan. Loyal uses this tension to create a clever scheme. He plays a game of maiden's kiss with the women, risking his own life just to manipulate the terms of their tow, essentially ensuring that both now owe him a debt and can't leave Two Rivers. It's Loyal's brilliant, albeit comical, way of keeping his reluctant protectors close during the upcoming battle. Meanwhile, Alanna is busy training the Cawthon sisters, teaching them to channel enough power to bolster her own abilities, while also recruiting the new wisdom for their cause. Fail takes charge by reassuring frightened villagers that Tralarks fear wolves, a subtle but impactful way of building morale and linking the safety of the village to Perrin's own unique connection to the wolves. The episode becomes even more layered when Dane Bornhold arrives, and we get a highly emotional confrontation between him and Perrin. The two share a complicated past. Perrin killed Dane's father, but Dane burned an innocent woman alive. Perrin appeals to Dane's honor as a White Cloak and manages to convince him to help defend Two Rivers, with the promise that Perrin will surrender himself once the battle ends. Elsewhere, Alanna and Maxim share a tender moment, acknowledging the likelihood of death and preparing emotionally to go into a battle they may not return from. Maxim and Alanna even contemplate the status of their bond, deciding to keep it intact for the duration of the war. Fail refuses to be left behind, reminding Perrin that she is no damsel and referencing the tragic fate of his ex-wife to emphasize that she can take care of herself. As the battle approaches, Perrin and Loyal strategize, concluding that shutting the waygate is the only way to truly protect the village from endless waves of Tralarks. Loyal promises that Perrin's name will be remembered and calls him the Golden-Eyed Lord, a title that marks his transformation from a simple man to a true leader. As battle cries echo through the trees, the villagers join together in a song of unity, lifting their voices to the skies before the storm of battle begins. Their shields are quickly overwhelmed, forcing Perrin to ask Maxim to direct Alanna into unleashing her power. Alanna, the Cawthon sisters, and the newly initiated wisdom channel their collective energy, producing a magical hailstorm with razor-sharp stones that shatter Tralark lines. Just when it seems like victory is near, Alanna is suddenly struck by an arrow. The moment is shocking, heartbreaking, and it ripples through everyone, especially Maxim, who shares her pain through their bond but rises above it to rally the troops. He reminds them all that battles are won not by brute strength alone, but by those who choose to keep fighting despite the odds. Meanwhile, Loyal ventures into the waygate, asking the ale to protect him as he completes the dangerous task of closing it for good, which he does successfully, though at the ultimate cost, his life. While he falls, his death ensures no further reinforcements can come through to bolster the enemy. At the same time, the Tuatharan take the children into the woods, fulfilling Perrin's earlier request to ensure their safety. But just when the villagers think the worst is over, Dane and the White Cloaks arrive surprisingly unscathed, which immediately raises Perrin's suspicions. The tension escalates rapidly as Padan Fain infiltrates Two Rivers, revealing that the battle isn't over, it has only just begun. Fain's forces attack with brutal efficiency, and the town descends into chaos again. Amidst the bloodshed, Aram delivers a heroic moment by killing a Tralark to protect a baby in his arms, symbolizing his inner conflict and evolution from pacifist to warrior. Elsewhere, the Cawthon sisters finally embrace their true power, driven by the fury and grief of Alanna's fall. They confront Aemon Volder and, using their newfound strength, burn him alive, an act of vengeance that also signals their transformation. As all of this unfolds, Perrin confronts Fain, deeply torn between rage and reason. In an unexpected move, he chooses diplomacy over death, making a deal with Fain to spare the people of Two Rivers in exchange for his own freedom. It's a risky move, but it pays off. Fain, recognizing Perrin's resolve and the very real threat he poses, calls off his forces and retreats. Before departing, Fain reveals that the Dark One's interest in Two Rivers stems from its connection to Rand. Destroying it is meant to be a warning to him. With Two Rivers finally safe, Perrin is left to reflect on what's been lost and what he has become. Alanna, gravely injured but alive, tells the Corthan girls that the White Tower is no longer their destiny. The Pattern has other plans for them. Eram, having forsaken the Way of the Leaf, chooses to remain behind and serve as a blacksmith. Perrin finds a book left by Loyal, a touching final message that acknowledges Perrin as the rightful leader of Two Rivers. The title may have been thrust upon him, but he has proven himself worthy. Finally, Dane returns to collect on their agreement. True to his word, Perrin bids farewell to his people and follows Dane into what can only be described as a death trap, showing once more that he's willing to sacrifice everything for his home. As the credits roll on episode 7, one can't help but feel that the emotional stakes have never been higher. With only one episode remaining, the fate of our scattered heroes hangs in the balance. Episode 8 is bound to pivot back to Rand and Moiraine, especially since Rand is the Dragon Reborn and the ultimate focus of this tale. We may also see the outcome of Liandrin's dark dealings and the consequences of Padan Fain's temporary retreat. Whether or not the group will reunite remains a mystery, but one thing is clear: Perrin has finally stepped into the role he was destined for, and Two Rivers, though blooded and battered, now has a leader it can truly believe in.